everybody, it's Lisa Burningham. Have I got a jam-packed episode for you today? First off, I'm going to be showing you 3 high-end Dollar Tree DIYs. It's Friend Friday. We are also doing a $250 giveaway, which I know you're gonna all want to enter. And then also I have a free printable that I'm going to be giving away. Our first project is to turn this Dollar Tree choppy mat into a beautiful custom Christmas sign surrounded by holiday botanicals. I created this "Oh Come Let Us Adore Him" printable, and yes, this is the free printable that I'm giving away to you. I'll leave a link in my description box so you can print it off and use it for your project. So I took my printable and I placed a few pieces of double-sided tape to the surface of my paper and placed the cutting board directly on top of the paper. Now there's a shiny side to the cutting mat and there's a dull side. I used the dull side because I didn't really want that reflection, but you could use the shiny side if you wanted that too. And what I did was I didn't place it directly in the center because a portion of this mat was going to be placed in the foam, so you weren't going to be able to see it. So I placed the words in the upper 2/3 of this cutting mat. I'm going to be tracing out my words with 2 different types of pen. The first one is a gold paint pen that I purchased at Michael's, and the second is a copper pen that I got at the Dollar Tree. I chose the gold color to put on the top line. I carefully and slowly traced along the words, making sure that each letter was colored in well. I chose the copper pen for the word adore. Again, I colored in each letter carefully and made sure the letter was saturated in the copper paint. The more color, the better. We want it to stand out once we remove the paper printable. The last line I chose to do gold again, and then finally for those berries on the side, I alternated. I did copper for the stem and gold for the berries. Now the paint dries really quickly, so I only ended up waiting 5 minutes before I removed the paper printable from the back. This is a great way to customize a sign without using a Cricut or a Silhouette. However, if you do have a cutting machine, you can still use this mat, cut out your vinyl lettering, and place that on instead. To hold my sign in place, I'm using a block of Floral foam, and I'm going to be placing it on top of a square of Styrofoam. I added a decent amount of hot glue to the bottom of the Floral foam block, and I placed it in the center of the Styrofoam square. Then I got a few floral pins. I added 1 pin to each of the sides, and now it is stuck in place and will hold my sign really nicely. I took a sharp knife and cut a line down the center of the floral foam and then added my cutting board sign. I lined it up with the knife slit and shimmied it down into the floral foam. I placed the sign into a large wood tray, which adds extra detail, keeps all the florals contained, and also makes it easier to pick up and transport. Next, I covered the base of the foam in some really thin Christmas greenery, and I secured it to the foam with some floral pins. In my last video, I made a broken mirror Christmas tree, and to go along with that project, I decorated my Bombay chest with a beautiful garland full of copper and gold ornaments and bows. So I was really inspired by that garland. I loved it so much. I wanted to transfer those colors from the last video into this one. Plus, I had some leftover ribbon. So I used plenty of gold and cream poinsettias, some branches with gold berries, those beautiful copper and gold ribbons which tie in the color scheme, and finally some white snowflake ornaments. Isn't this display just so pretty? I put it on top of a sled and I just love the way it looks. It's so high-end. Who knew that a cutting mat could be such a great blank backdrop to make a gorgeous Christmas sign? My video is part of the Friend Friday Hop that is hosted by my darling friend Heidi Sonboul from Heidi Sonboul DIY. There are so many talented ladies participating in this hop. Once you're finished watching my video, click on the link provided in my description box to hop to the next video. Now, I'm not going to tell you who it is, it's a surprise, but I know you're going to love her video. Also, leave her a comment because we're going to be having a huge giveaway. It's $250 worth of prizes. Look at all this good stuff you can win. A Cricut Joy, plus a whole slew of supplies. To be eligible to be entered into this giveaway, all you need to do is watch each of the videos in the hop, leave us a comment, and that's it. So be sure to enter. The next DIY is this Dollar Tree Christmas tree. We're gonna start off with this pot or the vase. I'm gonna use 2 different sized vases. I have a larger one and then I have a smaller one. I'm going to be filling the space in between the vases with some shredded paper. I'm just gonna poke it right inside. I'm gonna press it all the way down to the bottom, and I'm gonna add the paper around the entire perimeter of the vase in between that vacant space. Next, I'm going to be using some Dollar Tree ornaments for some extra embellishment. I took these ornaments and I pressed these snowflakes against the surface of the glass vase and in front of the shredded paper. These white glittery snowflakes are pretty flimsy, so they were easily bendable, so they curved around the circular vase nicely. I added 4 snowflakes, which was the perfect amount to fit my container. I added a small piece of floral foam to the inside vase, and then I got a sharp knife and I cut out a circular hole in the center where the pole from the Christmas tree would be placed. I decided to do a little flocking to my Christmas tree, so I used this Rustoleum gloss white spray paint and I lightly misted it over the surface of the Christmas tree. After it dried, I flipped it over and I lightly misted the other side, and then I let it dry completely. I pressed my Christmas tree pole into the hole in the floral foam and it kept it securely in place. Now, when it comes to the branches of these Dollar Tree Christmas trees, I think it's pretty safe to say that they're pretty sparse. So I had to figure out a way to beef up this Christmas tree. So I got those poinsettias that I'd used in my floral arrangement, and I added several of them to my Christmas tree branches. I put a copper and gold bow as the topper. I added a few large copper ornaments and a few branches of gold berries. I think you would be hard pressed to guess that this Christmas tree started out as a Dollar Tree Christmas tree and we beefed it up. We also took those Dollar Tree Christmas ornaments and we turned them into a beautiful holiday winter inspired embellishment that adds a beautiful detail to this potted Christmas tree. I love the way that this looks expensive and lush while keeping the cost at a minimum. Our final project is to turn this Dollar Tree snow globe into this gorgeous high-end looking snow globe. The first step is to take the bottom of this snow globe and paint it. I'm going to use some metallic brass spray paint. I sprayed an even coat until it was completely saturated in gold, and then I let it dry. To jazz the snow globe up even more, I'm going to be adding a gold beaded garland that I got at Walmart for only $2. I added a line of hot glue to the base, placed my garland in the glue, and wrapped it around the base. And I did 2 layers to completely cover the plastic base. The tree that I'm adding inside came from the Dollar Tree as well. I took that garland and some scissors and I snipped off a few of those little gold beads. I got some hot glue and I added them as ornaments to my tree. When I went to place my tree inside of my globe, it was too tall. So I needed to pull off the plastic snowbank. That's all right, didn't need it anyway. And then I took the wire that was sticking into the snowbank and I bent it. And then I added some hot glue to the bottom and placed my tree right in the center of the base. The snow in my snow globe is actually just bath salts. I got these again at the Dollar Tree and I poured some bath salts into the dome portion of my globe and then twisted it onto the base. I did end up adding one more line of beaded garland because I wanted to cover up the threads where the dome portion and the base came together. So in total I have 3 lines of beaded garland. To make my snow globe more substantial, I'm going to be adding an additional base. I'm going to make this base out of a lid that I got off a can of empty spray paint. Talk about cheap, it was free. So I took that lid and I decided to spray paint it with that same gold brass Rustoleum spray paint. Once the paint had dried, I added some hot glue to the top and then placed my snow globe right on top in the center. To highlight my snow globe and make it a real focal point, I'm going to be adding it to this gorgeous apothecary jar. I'm going to add some bath salt snow to the base, and then I'm going to place in my snow globe. I'm also going to be adding some mini gold ornaments around the base and a beautiful gold and copper bow to the top lid. I love the way that this jar really highlights the snow globe and makes it look so substantial and a standout focal point. Again, this project was so affordable and I think it turned out beautifully. With a little creativity, you can take some Dollar Tree items and glam them up. You can transform them into some gorgeous high-end pieces of holiday decor. I hope you liked these easy DIYs, and I hope you got some inspiration so you can make some affordable Christmas decor. Now, don't forget to go to the next video in the hop and leave them a comment to enter the giveaway. And then also don't forget that I have that free printable for this sign if you want it. It's in my description box. Thank you so much for watching.